Okay, we're ready, Kim.
Count me off and we're ready now.
Nita, bring me my purse real quick, or Miles, please, hurry.
We're ready right now.
Look in the kitchen. Look in the living room.
What, baby?
Hello, hello. Well, thank you for joining us here on Red Door Conversations, Real Talk and Real Tea. My name is Tana Young, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce my wonderful and beautiful co-host. We have the lovely Kimberly Dixon Dudley from 3rd Ward. How you doing, Kim?
All good, all good.
You ready for Friday? Ready for the weekend?
Friday. It's Friday.
Right. You have Lisa White from Pearland. How you doing, Lisa?
Hey, stress level is up here, guys.
Oh, Lord. Got to get rid of that.
Yes.
And last but certainly not least, we have Mala Lewis from Clear Lake. How you doing, beautiful?
I'm doing wonderful.
Well, that is so good to hear. Ready for the weekend?
I am.
All right, all right. Well, not only are we all ready for the weekend, but we are all ready for this juicy but sad red hot topic. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and talk about, now most of you know him as Tim Norman from Sweetie Pies. His real name is Jim Norman, and he's on one of the series. He's one of the stars of the OWN reality series, Welcome to Sweetie Pies. He is now facing new charges and an alleged murder for hire plot, according to a statement released by the U.S. Department of Justice. And this all happened on Thursday. Ladies, what do you all think about this? I mean, I read the article and it's too much. I mean, it's really sad that someone would go and do something like that, especially to their own relative, his nephew, for $450,000.
I have a question. Is he arrested or has he been convicted? I didn't read the article.
Based on the article that I read, he's been arrested.
Mm.
And they're trying to say, it looks like he's been arrested. They're considering him dangerous. I forgot what it's called, where you can't fly. No
flight risk.
Yeah, flight he's risk. A flight risk. So he's definitely been arrested.
I just feel like $450,000 to kill anybody. I mean, it's just, you're not going to be set up with $450,000. You're going to have to go back and go open that restaurant again and sell some more of that soul food. So I don't understand it's your blood, it's your flesh and blood. And to me, that $450,000 is such a small amount. If I'm gonna, and here's the deal, this is not in my nature. But if I did say one day, this is what I'm gonna do, you can rest assured that it's gonna be so many zeros behind that till.
Now, you know, he didn't get the money, so he planned all of this. So it was planned 2 years prior to him actually setting his nephew up to be murdered. He never received not a penny of that money.
Wow.
Nothing.
Okay.
And he didn't receive it. I don't know. He never got it. I guess, there was some red flags that went up, so he never received the money.
So I didn't read the article, but I keep hearing little snippets like on social media and radio, and there was something about some girl who got $9,000 to do a portion of it, and she didn't do what she needed to do, or
I think she was an ex-stripper, or she is a stripper. She also appeared on the show.
What do you mean she didn't do what she?
Well, she was supposed to do some part. She was supposed to set the nephew up. But did he was murdered? He was
murdered. So I think she did her job.
And so here's the bigger picture for me, guys. Now
Wow.
family relationships are going to be ruined as a result of this. This is the bigger picture. So as the Bible say, the love of money, not money,
Mm.
but the love of money is the root of all evil. I'm going to take it back to the Bible. So this is a classic case of this. And so family relationships are ruined. I mean,
That's right.
Right. And I feel my heart goes out to Miss Robbie, sending her prayers, and she's gonna need lots of hugs. This is, I mean, I can't even imagine. It has to be really, really hard for her to be going through right now. And you're right, Lisa. He's ruined. Lord knows what's going to happen to the businesses. How many restaurants do they have? Do you guys know? I know they have one in Memphis, and they have one in St. Louis. I've been to that one. Food was delicious, and his aunt was there when I stopped by with my mom.
got it.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad.
All the way around.
So
Mhm.
So today's show, guys, is all about our viewers. We titled it "You Got Questions." We certainly got answers. So we wanted to let you guys know that we're most appreciative of you guys for always tuning in, having our backs. We love you guys, and so we wanted this show to be all about you guys and whatever questions you had for us. So we did get questions, and they're in here. They're right here. And so we're going to, as I pull them out, then one of the co-hosts is going to answer the question that comes out. And so the first question is,
It's gonna be
how,
fun.
how do you buy a
Wait,
house?
Lisa, wait, let me
Yes,
ask you a question. I've got a question.
yes,
If those that are watching us, if they have a quick question, can they type it in for us?
they sure can.
Okay. All right.
Okay, good deal.
Yes, they sure can. So the first question is, how do you buy a house for cash? What are the steps slash process?
Well, I would say that's a good question. That's a very good question, and I'll take that one. Buying a house for cash, it works much like any other transaction with a few differences. One, buying a house for cash, you still have to go through the negotiation process. You still have to go under contract. But some of the differences are that one, just like in any other finance transaction, you would show an approval letter. Well, with cash, you would need to show proof of funds, your bank account, your wherever you are going to get that money from, a Roth IRA, whatever source it is that you plan to use in order to secure that property. The good thing about buying cash, though, is that you don't have the lender cost.
Mm-hmm.
So without having the lender cost, your closing costs, we call it. You'll hear that term being used. Closing with cash is less expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and also because you don't have to go through with the process of being approved by a lender, you typically can close a lot faster. You can close a lot faster on a cash deal. The other thing is on a cash deal, and pay attention to this part, because on a cash deal, you have a choice of if you want to have a survey or not. And which I still recommend, by the way. A lot of investors, some homeowners as well will purchase a property cash, and they will elect to not have a survey performed. And you still want to go ahead. I mean, a survey typically is not too expensive. And even if it is, even if you need a meet and bounds or a topical survey, whatever it is, I still recommend that you get one because you want to make sure that you're buying exactly what it is that you're buying, and that there are no encroachments on the property, that type of thing. That, in a nutshell, is how you buy a house cash.
Well, let me ask you. Let me
That's
ask
a
you
good
this.
one.
Let me ask you this, Marla, because some people, they seem to think that if they are offering, let's just say the property is $250,000, and they the listing agent has asked for highest and highest and best, your highest and best offer, and the cash offer may be offering 220,000 cash and can close in 14 days, whereas you have someone that is offering, they have a lender, they're being approved by, from a mortgage company, so they're going to go through that lending process, but they're offering a little bit over that list price. Do you think that that cash bid will win out? What is your thought on that?
You know what,
That's a good
Lisa? And
question.
you know what? When I was listing foreclosures for sale, that's a good question because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times people are, they have this notion that, but I have cash, but I have cash. They're not, most sellers, because really, to be honest, in the end, all of it is cash. So you have to ask yourself, is this a situation, unless it's some type of distress where the seller needs to get out of the property? Most people, I mean, if you're offering 200 and the other offer is 230, 240, 250, nobody is going to just say, in order to, in an effort to get it closed sooner, that they would just give 30,000, 40,000, $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and people have to make sure that they ask themselves that question. Ask yourself, would I give
Mm-hmm.
somebody $50,000 just so that I don't have to wait for 3 more weeks? It makes no sense.
Yeah, I would prefer to wait for the bigger payout. But like you
Exactly.
said, it depends on the seller's circumstances. Maybe the sales date is really, really, it's approaching very quickly.
Right.
So therefore, it would make sense to take that
Mm-hmm.
cash offer and you got
Yeah.
to cut your losses.
Right. Right. Great question. And that question came from our viewer Monique Good.
All
So
right,
thank you, Monique. The next question is, guys, how do I brand myself as a realtor? Who wants to take that one?
Well, I'll take it. There's,
Wonderful.
a few things that you can do to brand yourself as a realtor. Number one is you want to get your logo together. What is your name going to be? Are you going to have a tagline? You want to put yourself in front of the camera, do those videos and push them out there. Even if you're doing home tours, go ahead and do your home tours live, because people love video, especially right now because of the pandemic, where people are staying home. It's fun for people to just sit back and be able to watch a video, so definitely get your logo out there. Stop, doing your videos. Make sure you create your business page, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is you want, your Snapchat, your TikTok. There's so many of them. And just really push those out there so that way people can remember who you are. And if you can make it unique, then definitely do it. Something that's going to be very catchy for people to remember. Oh yeah, that's Lisa. Yeah, that's her. I remember her logo. I mean, think about McDonald's logo or there's so many of them. But yeah, definitely try to make your branding, your logo, everything unique and tailor it to you, your personality.
So Tana, I have a question on branding your logo. If you're an agent and you want to brand like your group or your team, how should realtors go about making sure they're doing that in the correct and proper way?
Oh, that's a great question. Are you saying where they're all using like the same logo? Is that what you're saying for the
Well,
whole
like say for
team?
instance, you know, GBR Realty, an agent under GBR Realty wants to brand her individual team. Uh, how does she create her social media
Oh,
information? Is there something they're not supposed to do or they can do or
well, one of the things so what you can do is create your own name. Like for instance, I have, I'm with Southern Star Realty, but then I have Tana Young Properties. You have to be careful with the name that you pick. So
okay.
I cannot do Tana Young Properties or Tana Young Realty. Can't do that. Or I can't do Tana Young Associates, or what's another one? Tana Young
Group.
Group.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you just have to be really careful about the last part of the name that you put on there. You can't use realty, you can't use associates, not unless you are a broker. So that's
So
very important to remember.
so not giving the impression that you're the broker, that you own the brokerage,
Correct.
making sure
Correct.
that you have the broker's name on your marketing material, right?
Yes.
Is that
Yep.
okay? Okay.
Yep. That's it. That's it.
Okay.
So yeah, you always want to brand yourself, get your own Facebook page and stop putting your own marketing together. Put that information, your name on your marketing materials.
That's good
You have
stuff,
any
Tana.
questions? Go to your broker.
There you go. There you go. Next question. The viewer asks, would you still advise someone to invest in rental properties considering the risk of job loss and the inability to evict? Who wants to take that one?
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's a good question.
That is an excellent question, because I think a lot of people only see real estate from whatever their perspective is. But if you're an investor, this is a real uncertain time for you. So
Mhm.
my advice would be, one, be sure to evaluate your long-term and your short-term strategy. If you're thinking about doing this in the long haul, real estate is cyclical. So we're in a depressed moment now economically, but that'll come back around. But if you're able to hold on to that property, real estate, for as long as we've been alive, has been the fastest way, or the most solid way to create a great investment portfolio. So I would say, one, evaluate your strategy and see if you can qualify for some of the financial funding that's supporting landlords right now. So right now, the CARES Act covers some. I'll read this to you. There was a moratorium that was enacted from the CARES Act that stipulates that landlords of certain federally backed apartments cannot serve tenants with an eviction until July the 25th. Now that was then, and that's been extended through August 24th. So for landlords and for renters and tenants right now, be aware that that's coming up on Monday. The expiration, August 24th, Monday, is the expiration of that moratorium. But that said, our city and local county officials have gotten together to pool funds together. They put together a $65 million package to help with homelessness and housing protection. So I would tell investors, be sure to reach out to your elected officials, the mayor's office, your city council member, your commissioner's office, to find out if you qualify for funds that will help you with your investment assets. Because at the end of the day, it's an investment, but you're also providing a place to live. So your local officials are interested and motivated to make sure you're not losing that property.
So you know what, Kim, I have a question for you on that. So let's say a landlord, during this pandemic has a tenant that hasn't paid, tenant was evicted. Can the landlord get any assistance to help pay for the rent that the tenant did not pay, for the money that's owed to him or her?
So that's a great question, Tana. They would have to qualify. So the landlord and the property have to qualify for the assistance. So what I would tell someone in that instance is reach out or look up the CARES Act, understand where they are, because it's also an evolving and fluid process. It's changing. So like they've made extensions and made adjustments to it. So it's changing pretty rapidly, but reach out and find information about the CARES Act to find out if you qualify or if that's something you can get some assistance with.
Okay. Can't find my pen. I was gonna write that information down, but I can call you.
Yeah, so that's it. I would say you can call. And we're gonna post this on the Facebook Red Door Conversations page. So we'll post this information.
See, viewers, see how we do it? We don't know everything. So there's something that I may not know that Kim knows, or
That's
Lisa, or Mala, and
it.
this is what we're doing. We take notes when we talk to each other.
Oh, that's what it's about.
All the time. All the time. I keep my pen ready.
There you go.
Well, I do have a pen in this bag, but look, it's it's big, and I'm not about
Don't
to
go looking for it.
Yeah, not doing all that.
Y'all ready for the next question, ladies?
Yes.
We are.
Okay. How do you know if an inspector is good? I think this is an excellent question. Who wants to take that one?
I'll take it. Well, do you want to take it, Mala?
No.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. So in my opinion, you know when an inspector is good, number one, when he or she can give you some references, when the inspector has patience to go over the inspection report, whatever he or she found, with the agent or with the buyer. Does the inspector have any certifications other than being able to inspect homes? Is the inspector mode certified? Does the inspector have termite certification, HVAC certification? What else can I throw in there?
Engineer. A lot of inspectors are
Yeah,
engineers.
yes,
That's
yeah,
right. That's
yeah,
right. Structural.
yes.
And so, this may be petty of me, but I like for my inspector to be able to climb on that roof.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh.
Well, wait a minute.
Because-
Yeah, because some of them don't climb on the
It's
roof,
only so much you're going to be able to view from that ground.
Wait a minute. I must be in the dark. Every inspector does not get on the roof and inspect.
No, girl. Some of them use binoculars.
No, indeed.
Yes.
Yes, some of them use binoculars.
Yeah,
Kim.
I like for my inspectors to climb on that roof, and because here's the deal, and the reason being, there are 5 things to me that can cause a deal to bust out. It's going to be your roof, your HVAC system, your plumbing, your electrical, and your foundation. Those 5 things can cause a transaction to bust out. And so for me, I don't want an inspector standing from the ground telling me roof is in good condition and is functioning properly for the age. That's nothing to me.
Well, in all fairness, I think we have to consider the weather too. Right?
You're going to have to come back and inspect that roof.
Yeah,
because that's a big ticket item.
Well, I'm saying on that day of inspection.
Now, what I've seen them do though is when they use the binoculars, they will, if they see anything, they will, and oftentimes more than not, they will say that it needs to, a certified roofer needs to come out, a qualified, person.
They'll include that on the report.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen some inspectors, some of them may stand on the ground and look up, with their binoculars, but then you have those that will actually get their ladder, climb up on the roof, and then use their binoculars.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Kim said no. I hear it.
Kim said no. Okay. She said
Get on that roof.
What I like too is when have you guys ever gone out with your inspector?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, and so I think that makes a good inspector too, because they teach us how to look for things that could possibly be a red flag inside of a home. Cracks, looking at the foundation and whatnot. So to me, that also makes a good inspector.
Absolutely.
Lisa, repeat the top 5 for me one more time.
I said roof, HVAC system, your plumbing, your electrical, and your foundation.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, those to me are the deal breakers. Everything else is negotiable. You can work through those challenges.
Wait, guys, we forgot something. Tools, the tools that they use.
That's a good one.
Inspectors have, I don't know the name of it, but where it can detect moisture.
That's that infrared. It's
infrared.
The infrared.
Yeah. Because they can use it and know if there's anything behind, like the walls, the shower, any leaking going on.
I had a client recently walk away from a transaction due to one of those inspections detecting moisture. A lot of it.
Wow.
Yeah,
you guys ready for the next question?
Why not? Let's go.
Do it.
Okay. This question says, what are the pros and cons to using for sale by owner? So do you hire so in short, this question, I'm going to take this question. So in short, do you hire a real estate agent or do you do it yourself? And so my first response to that is, what do you do for your to earn your living? So if you are or let's just say if you are an engineer, okay, then you are an engineer. You are not a real estate professional. So you do what the engineer do every day. That's what you do. And you hire the professional to do their job. I'm going to give you some bullet points because I see, Kim, that you are
taking notes
for the viewers.
Mhm.
So when you do decide to list your own home or put your own sign, because you're not really listing it anywhere, I don't know who's going to be able to see it, unless I do know that there is a for sale by owner website and you can list, through there. However, I will say that the www.har.com is the largest multiple listing service, and you will get maximum exposure through that. Now, if you do decide to sell your own home, here are the pros. You get to make all the decisions. You are the shot caller.
Mhm.
The paint colors, who you sell your home to, what you list it for. If you're in a neighborhood and those homes are going anywhere from 220 to 275 and you list yours for 300, that was your choice. You get to do that all day, every day. You trust yourself. So you don't have any issues with trusting who you hire because you've hired yourself. You can show your home from your perspective, meaning when you get someone that knocks at your door, you can, I guess you're the person to determine if you trust that person or not. But let me say, you put yourself at risk. You put yourself at risk. You don't know who's coming to your door. You don't know what they have. You don't know any of those things. And the big deal for when you list or you do for sale by owner is you don't have to pay a realtor any commission. That is all your money, every single dime. Okay. If it takes you a year to sell it, it's all your money. Now, if you would have hired a real estate agent, then what took you a year to sell, you probably could have sold in 60 days. Okay, because that realtor is going to give you the professional advice. They're going to walk your home, let you know what you need to do to stage your home. That as a for sale by owner, you lack strategy, you lack market knowledge, you lack real estate knowledge, you lack sales experience, and most of all, you lack negotiating power. Those are things that your realtor should have. Okay. You're very subjective with that property. That realtor is going to come from an objective standpoint because it's your home. You've lived there for many years. It's very personal to you. You have a ton of emotions attached to it. So it's going to be harder for you to move that property. And if you've listed that home, or if you're selling that home and you have orange colors, you have burnt red or burgundy, somebody else may not share your taste. I know every listing presentation that I go to, that I see those colors have to go down if they want me to list them.
So
Because
you won't list the house without them
I'm not
toning
going
it
to do it.
down?
I'm not going to do it. If you want me to spend my marketing dollars, my marketing dollars, I'm not going to list that home. I'm not going to do it. Now, if you're going to pay me to market the property, but if I have to come out of my pocket to list, then I would expect for you to, if I come in there with 20 recommendations and you do 16 of my recommendations, then I think that I can move forward. Because I've had that where they didn't take all of my recommendations, Tana, but they took the majority of them and the property
Okay.
moved.
Lisa,
But
Kim,
if you're not taking
I mean,
any of our recommendations, then I'm not going to waste my marketing dollars.
Yeah, that's a nightmare, Lisa.
It
Yeah.
is.
Paula and Kim, do you guys do you guys do the same?
I want to share a risk comparison. I'm gonna go back to what you said earlier, Lisa. One of the things a lot of people don't realize, they think that And y'all know how I feel about HGTV. They think it's just you put the house on the market, put a sign up, and it sells. There's so much that goes into the house other than what it looks like. That's a big component, right? It has to be appealing to the masses, and it has to be able to get out to the masses. So you want to use a website that like har.com, that is one of the heavily trafficked websites for real estate in the state of Texas. But a lot of times, if you're an engineer, you're a doctor, whatever you do for your profession, you don't know the right forms to use to conduct the transaction, to protect your own interests. I've run into people who want to sell their homes and they don't know that they have to use a seller's disclosure, even if they don't use a realtor. The state of Texas requires that you use that form. So if you don't know that, you might be keeping all your commissions and setting yourself up for a lawsuit later on because you didn't disclose properly. So that's just
I mean, it's little things like opening title from the very beginning. You know, that's important as well. So for sale by owners, definitely take a risk.
I do.
The other thing, I have three things I want to add. The first thing is, why would you want to do it with yourself, for yourself, and you don't have access to approved buyers? The people that are calling you are not necessarily approved, whereas when a realtor is cooperating with another realtor, then, you know, most realtors, I hope, are not showing any property to unapproved buyers. And so that gives you an advantage to not disturb, you know, yourself or your family if you're still living in the home, or not to disturb plans that you might have if you're not living in the home, but you're driving over to open the home, you know, to show the house to prospective buyers. The other thing is the realtor has realtor relationships. So with those relationships, they should have those. With those relationships, a lot of times they know what another agent is, what they have, the type of, you know, price point this particular agent typically sells in. You know, all kinds of things go into play when we market your listing for sale. And then I also wanted to say to a prospective buyers that are looking to purchase from a for sale by owner, or FSBO as we call them. It can be very dangerous that you do that, and I want everybody to be aware. If there is a seller that is selling and you have an agent who is representing you as a buyer, to me, it's very important that you make sure that your agent can be involved in the process. An agent friend of mine, something happened with her clients where they found a beautiful home and it was a for sale by owner. That particular for sale by owner wanted nothing to do with a realtor at all. Nothing. Did not want any type of real estate professional involved. They ended up purchasing the very beautiful home, and within 2 months, they had plumbing issues up to the tune of $25,000.
Whoa.
They ended up calling my friend and, you know, trying to get help to ask her what it was that they could do. These are things that, you know, as professionals, yes, some of these things we know to look for. Some of these things we know, you know, hey, something's not right about this. We need to get another professional in here to take a look at it.
Absolutely.
That's a very good point.
And you have to raise an eye if you are working with a for sale by owner that does not want you to have an agent. A lot of them are willing to pay that buyer's agent. And so you have to raise a brow and think, is there something wrong with this property? Do you know that I'm not being told? You know, it's just, to me, it's a dangerous situation when you have two professionals on each side, meaning the agents working together. The transactions seem to flow a lot smoothly. If there are bumps in the transaction, usually the buyers and the sellers they're not privy to that. It's the agents working through that.
And it's much better because if you have a buyer who's emotional because it's their home And then you have, I'm sorry, you have a seller that's emotional because it's their home, and then you have the buyer who becomes emotional because they want the home. It's just not a good, it's not a good match. And that's what we get paid for.
We want to
So-
thank you guys for sending us those questions. We're going to have another viewer show here real soon as well. We love all your questions. We definitely can't get to all of them. So if you have more questions, go ahead and send them to us. And Marla, why don't you close us out?
Yep, I was gonna say, if they have more questions, Lisa, we're always open to answering. So thanks you guys that did tune in with us today. And don't forget to go to our pages on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, also Apple Podcasts. And until the next show, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great weekend, guys.
You too, Lisa.